Hello and welcome back, Binary Ninjas or Binjas. I don't know if I should. Yeah, I don't know which one's better. But it's good to see everybody. It's good to be back. I appreciated all the chatter already in chat. For those that were early, let me know if the audio is working well. Looks good on that level. So I think we're all set. And there's nobody calling in today, just me and y'all. And we're gonna check out all the stuff that's been happening. All sorts of good stuff. Just because I was gone for so long, so I apologize for how long the break was. I between ShmooCon, whatever else, I had a family vacation. I don't know. There was like several things, and one day I was just really tired. So today I was tired, but I decided, you know what? It doesn't matter how tired I am because it's been too long. I needed to see everybody. So welcome back. Looking forward to doing this because I mean, part of it's because there are several like brand spanking new things that I have not even gotten a chance to play with yet. I just wrapped up a training that I did with Sophia this week. In fact, I probably should shill the other training, which is if you're at Recon, if you're going to Recon, that same training class that we gave will be available there. So I will say that we need to take my name off of it because that party is a lie. I'm not going to be able to go to this. I've got a family thing going on, unfortunately. But you're going to get a 2-for-1 deal. There's actually 2 folks from Vector 35. They're going to be here for that. So you're going to get Peter, welcome, Stanhope, and Peter, Valgrind. I didn't call everybody else out. Robert, Ryan, Stolas. I didn't miss anybody. Oh, and that crockpot was real early. So welcome. Yeah, again, welcome everybody. But Peter, who is in chat, I'm glad you're on, is going to be one of the instructors. Kyle, who is not in chat because Kyle just left the office and is driving home. But they're both going to be at Recon. So you lose me, sorry, but you're going to gain far more in trade because you're going to get 2 much better developers. My Twitter bio is not a joke. I am the worst developer amongst many very good ones at Vector 35. So you're going to get 2 of the better ones, and they'll probably be able to answer a lot of questions better than I could about some of the internals and how things work. And so that's a great course. This course, like I said, we just finished up the longer version of it. And so Sophia and I have been doing it now for, I guess, 2-3 years now. I forget when we did the first one. And it's a combination of 2 courses. So Sophia had a course and we had a course of Vector 35 that we had made that we were kind of doing. And we realized that we were starting to overlap. Like she had started just on the program analysis side, and we had started on the just here's how to use Binary Ninja side, but she was using Binary Ninja, and because of a lot of the APIs we provided, we sort of kind of overlapped in the middle. We started getting more and more advanced. We were starting to teach some basic program analysis concepts, and she was teaching some basic Ninja stuff, and so we just sort of smooshed it together, and it makes for a really nice longer course. We've got a number of like great bits of feedback from other people. It's a lot of material. It's a lot to go over, but it's a lot of great exercises, a lot of good concrete examples, and people I think usually they're usually a little bit like mind blown at the very end of it, but they also walk away hopefully with a much better ability to not only just do basic things in Binary Ninja, but to take those kind of concepts and take some like advanced program analysis things and start to build like real world practical plugins. So this is the 4-day version. It's a little bit shorter, so it's kind of can't cover as many examples and as much of the material, but they're at Recon. So if you're already going, especially, you should definitely check that out. Thanks, Firefox. Oh, yeah, WebUNS. Like, sure, fine, whatever. I just feel like that's a troubleshooting problem waiting to happen. But anyway, if you are going to Recon, you should check that out. Back to the main list. So let's see, what did I promise today? We've got so many new updates. So this is an older test build that I'm gonna switch to a different channel here. All right. So there is, let's see, test build. So these are not builds that are public yet. I'm just gonna do this in the background. It's 3667. I'm told this is a magic test build, so we'll do that later. Just gonna get that kicked off for now. And then there's a
Stanhope subscribed to the channel.
I should use for this. So let's grab the plugin and we'll copy that into the VM. Download, please do download plugin. Okay. And I turn. All right, so let's see here. Let's go to downloads. type sidebar into, oh, that was fast. Already got yeah, the new updates, so much quicker. So I don't know if you've been using the latest dev, but if you haven't, the latest dev updates are so quick. It's very, very nice. Text to speech. Oh, does it allow you guys to actually post text to speech? I'm not listening to see where would that go through. Let me see. Text to speech probably goes through over here. Let me see. Is this the, I mean, if y'all are gonna troll me, I need to make sure I hear this, especially because I invited. Why are they so quick? I actually don't know. Well, okay, I have a vague sense. Maybe Rusty will come and explain it, but the short summary is the way that the let's see. Yeah, I don't even know if text to speech comes through here. This is where stream elements is. Is that what you're talking about with text to speech? I'll listen to that. It took a long time to speed up these updates. Yeah, I get that. I mean, part of it was, the idea behind the background updates is that you don't even notice it because they're just happening automatically. And so it's only a problem if you're like tracking every individual update and you're like waiting for it and looking at it. If it just goes in the background and you don't notice it, then it shouldn't matter so much, right? This, by the way, went away. So I'm on a test branch, so I've got these little like tooltip pop-ups, but if we're on latest dev, which we'll bring up another one over here, this one on latest dev, let's move these windows around a little bit. Let's organize a little better. This one, those tooltips went away. So Peter just removed those earlier today, which is nice. Oh, is there text to speech on subscription? Is that like just a YouTube thing, or is that I don't even remember. I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't put in a whole bunch of time into configuring stream elements and the YouTube stuff, so I'm not sure what's what there. But David, I thought you went our training many, many years ago, or am I misremembering? For some reason, I thought you were in an older version of it, or unless you mean you wanted to get the Sophia portion of it, which I totally agree you should. It's good. But yeah, the shortest, yeah, as Peter said, the updates before were individual files. So lots of HTTP requests for individual files. And now you can get like a bundle of them instead, basically. Oh, Semgrep for Binja. So you know what? That is a plugin. I was working on it, and it actually is, it's like very close to just something I should just ship. I just haven't got around to it. It was something I was doing on stream several months back. Yeah, like I think it's usable, and I've been told by the R2C folks that Semgrep has a bunch of new C++ and C rules. So now would be a great time to. Oh, that's true. That was like the 1 day version or whatever it was. No, I don't think it was it 1 day. It was maybe 3 days or 2 days or something. It was shorter. That's true. Let's see. So here's a random binary. This is a random CTF binary, Semgrep. I haven't looked at this function in a while. It ran Semgrep on some rule. Oh, this rule didn't trigger. This one looks for insecure format string use. Yeah, so I think I had a binary. What I was missing, yeah, the part I was missing in that Solus is I wanted to build a UI to like let you select the rules or write your own custom rules and then trigger Semgrep. But other than that, the framework of it is done. I'll post it. I'm not going to put it to like the plugin manager. But let me make a note on paper. As soon as the stream is over, I will. Something happened. Y'all still hear me? Testing? Okay. Yeah, make code is available in the latest dev if you actually just go look in the examples folder. So for example here, if you go into the Python examples folder, is it just no, it's regular examples, it gets combined. Yeah. I make code. So you can copy that into your plugin folder. And that's actually a better version than the one I showed off on stream a couple months ago. Yeah, sorry, I heard like the Windows device is connected or disconnected noise, and I was scared for a second. Something went out. Thank you. So if you want to play with make code, you can do that as well. Let's see this. So this is the test build. I'm gonna copy this file in. Streambox 2, I think. Let's see, is that right? That's my host name. Oh no, it's still just called Streambox. All right, yep. Okay, so plugins in. All right, when it's time for that, we should be all set on that test build. Okay, so yeah, Stolas, I'll make that note. Ship half working Semgrep. I mean, I can tell you what it does. Really, the only thing it really did was had like the structure of the binary ninja plugin with the requirements, so it would stall it from pip, and then it really just dumps the entire binary, the entire file you're looking at to sudo C, writes it to a temporary file, triggers Semgrep in the command line for it. So it's not a lot of fanciness to it. You could really do the same thing by opening up any file, clicking, export linear view. Actually, we should switch over to sudo C first, and then export linear view. And then specify like that, for example. And then, right, and then just running xtg-open, and then just running that one through Semgrep directly. And thank you, VS Code. Oh, yes, so very helpful, all of these things. Okay. Actually, let's cancel. I don't want to, I'll leave that open. So you'll see like all of like the metadata and stuff just shows up as comments. So you can just feed this straight. Oh, does it? Yeah, it shows with addresses. That is one thing the plugin actually does. Is it turns off show addresses. So I guess I would have to fix that. Yeah. So other than that, if you turn off show addresses, and then you click export, and then linear view, and then that's essentially going to give you what you need to feed straight into Semgrep. So you could do it that way. All right. Okay, so let's see, a list of things that we want to look at. I'm going to do this in the order that they were committed to the repo. So we'll start with the oldest first, and that one would be, actually, this was already documented on the blog. So if you've already seen the blog, I'm not going to go super deep into it, but I want to at least highlight it. Performance has gotten significantly better on the loading side in particular, and at the like memory usage while running. If you've saved a database and you want to reopen it, we just got significantly better. Analysis time also got significantly better. I mean, you can see like these are some pretty impressive, improvements. In particular, like Windows, which was the far and away the worst, went from only slightly the worst. To compared to the other ones, and so there was much bigger gains to be had on Windows relative to the other platforms. So yeah, this is a little bit harder to compare apples to apples, just because we were doing it on an M1 versus another piece of hardware. It wasn't running on an M1, but just in general, like yeah, we've really tried to take a stab at improving performance. So you'll see a whole bunch of different kind of across the board changes. They're not quite done yet. There's a couple more still planned. In particular, what Rusty is focused on now is saving time, right? So if you've got a really big database and you go, file save just to save the BNDB, there's definitely some low-hanging fruit that will get you a lot of gains. I think he said he's trying to figure out the exact best way to do it, but like on the order of like 2 minutes to 2 seconds level of like performance increases. So should be able to significantly, we'll see what the final version that actually makes it in is. We test it and it's got to go through all that still. But the goal is for that to land as well before this next stable. So we're closing in on our 3.1 stable. It's also worth pointing out that we did play a little shenanigans with the milestones. It's not really shenanigans. We're giving you, as I joked on Slack recently with somebody, we've given you quite the gift. Instead of giving you one stable release for Windows, we're giving you 2. Aren't you guys so lucky? By which I mean, we had before, we've talked about Windows, mobile, and embedded was 1, 2, and 3. Well, Windows has been turned into like these 2 halves, essentially. So the official Windows release is 3.2, which is coming after this next stable. This 3.1 is the performance release, because we shifted a little bit to go work on some performance stuff. That said, like, a number of the things in the Windows release made it still into this. So if we actually go and look at the issues, here you'll see, let's see. Actually, this is the open ones, so let's look at the closed ones. So these are the ones that we've already done. So Mac OS, I don't think we have a particular Mac OS release. You'll get a bunch of, yeah, oh, sorry, iOS. Yeah. That's going to be basically 3.4. So it'll probably, unfortunately, be early next year at the quarterly release cycle that we're looking at the iOS one. Although, I will say, our newest intern, Kat, happens to be focused on iOS in particular. And so, we were really excited when we saw her apply, because you'll notice if you look in the Binary Ninja plugin manager, even now, DYLD shared cache processor. Oh, look at that. Kat's the one who built that. So she built this plugin for analyzing shared caches, and the plan is for her to be working on features that are going to directly improve this during her internship here. So while officially this release is not till further out, we might actually be getting a bunch of iOS. I expect to be getting a bunch of iOS fixes before then, essentially. So we're excited for that, and yeah, hopefully we'll get her on. We'll see. I'll see if I can talk her into joining us on stream. I like to get all the Vector folks to meet you all at some point or another. And so I'll I don't want to scare them off though. Like the interns, you can't just like say, hey, you're gonna be on stream. You gotta So let's see. Hopefully she's not watching it and this is her. This is her. Wait, what? No, not everyone has to do this. I think there's plenty of people in the company that haven't been on stream before. So it's certainly not required. All right. So back to the roadmap. So again, if we look at those milestones. Actually, no, I was going to find some of the Windows ones. Yeah, so for example, the big one that we're going to be covering here, the type libraries on Windows landed in 3.1. So this is a Windows feature, even though it's on the performance release. So we didn't not do some of the things that we were intended for Windows just because that we split the release. So there's definitely several other ones in here too that are issues that we thought were specifically for Windows. There was a couple of PDB fixes, but for example, we didn't do all the PDB fixes because I know if we go back to milestones, for example, there's a number of things that got bumped into this that are PDB related. So there's still some more PDB parsing. No, that's how Find works on Linux. That's right. I've been using my Mac too much. So there's a couple of PDB ones here, like these 3 issues right now. So there is still some Windows 1 left for that 3.2. Again, if you kind of rough approximate, add 3 months or so. Also, this date is going to be dependent on, is probably not going to be the 10th. We'll see. We're generally trying to not let things slip too much, but if there's a feature that we really want to land, we'll just wait until that's done and we've had enough time to test it. So for this release, for example, the saving I mentioned, those performance on save, which will go nicely with the performance on at runtime with the memory usage as well as loading of BNDBs. That's coming. That's basically going to be what determines this. So whenever that's in and we've felt it has had enough time on dev to bake and make sure there's no nothing kind of latent in it, then we'll pick that release date. So that's how that one's going to go. All right, so let's go back to the fun though. Let's look at what else has changed. So type libraries. So first of all, just inside of Binary Ninja, if you go into type lib and you see all the things that are here and just do a find in WC, let's do the same command. I think if I have a stable, let's see, do I got a stable? All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it on, oops. Let's see, type lib. You know what? It's been a long week. All right. So we've got a few more type libraries, just a few. You'll see, although actually I think this one might even be the old stable. Let's see which version we get here. No, that's 3233. Yeah, exactly. So there's a number of new type libraries that have landed. So let's actually take a look. Actually, let's do this. Let's go to the old stable type library, and let's just go into XD6. Oops. And that was it. So this was the old list. Temp 1. And let's go into Binary Ninja. This is the current dev one. Telling you, it's been a long week. 76 and just a couple, right? I mean, obviously you can tell it's gonna be a pretty big difference. Oh, come on. All right, so those colors. Hold on, syntax off. That I forget how to turn off the color highlight. Anyway, you can see the total number of new files is pretty significant. There's lots of new type libraries. So if there was Windows types you were missing before, and even in addition to that, even the ones that were there before should be better and more accurate because we've got kind of an improved process that Peter worked on to get that done. Maybe actually on an upcoming week, it might be fun to talk to him about that. We should get him on stream. I didn't schedule it with him today, but it'd be cool to get him on stream to talk about kind of how that works. And it is, full credit. This is a little bit based on the process that let me see. Let's see. I think it's closed. It was called Windows Types. I'm gonna link to the right bug. There is a bug here where we talk about. You know what? Oh, I found a new thing. Watch this. In colon title. It's a nice. Yeah, right. This is such a nice thing because usually like the thing I want for I remember the exact title of and I want to just search that. So I think it was this. Yeah, this one right here. Right, exactly. So, I just like to check. Okay, before I out people by real name, Dustin. Some people prefer handles, some people prefer real names. So I also want to make sure that their their name is out there before I say it on stream. Dustin did this like a while ago, like literally almost a year ago, right? And was like, "Hey guys, I have these type libraries. Why don't you just use these?" And it's a fantastic resource and had a massive amount of type information. The problem was the current, like his script and the way that his current stuff worked, it was just one massive single type library file that you would have to load on every single file. So you would be applying like tens of thousands of types in every file, and it was just a huge performance hit that wasn't worth it. And even just a usability hit when trying to like actually look through the relevant types on a given file. And so we wanted to have we wanted to be able to split them up into each of the modules, apply them appropriately, and do a little bit more of like bug checking in the process. There was a number of quirks. Like I said, I think it would be fun to bring Peter in to talk about some of those, but I want to go see the results. That's the interesting part. So let's see here. Here is usually if I open up something and it's got a hash, I know I don't want to open the database because I want to do this fresh, and then we'll compare it to the hash. So this one, okay. So and actually, let's do this. Let's get rid of this one and let's go into the stable build. And let's do a little side by side. Let's compare. So on stable, and no, you're gonna have to analyze fresh too. Once you're doing it from command line W, command line argv to argv. Oh, look at that. Like those actually does this one not have? Oh, that's not calling it, but there we go. Okay. So we're seeing actual like parameters here. Although it was nice that we actually got the argument numbers right before, or the number of arguments. Start to int W. Oh, look at that. We've got a name parameter there. Same one. Heap alloc. Let's see, did we have heap alloc before? We did have heap alloc before. Those one of the ones we had. Open process token. How's that look? That one's about the same. Okay, so that one there is similar. Wait a minute. Oh no, do we have actually a regression? Oh, see. Find first file W. Oh, wait a minute. This is a bug, I think. So the type information on find first file W is correct. It's not showing up in the decompilation for a different reason, and I'm not sure. Let's see, it's back up. Yeah, I think that's a different bug. So the type information is significantly better, right? We could actually, that's a better way. Let's do this. Let's just go look at all the imports and let's compare that to like see how many of these actually have name parameters. So I think like command line W, does that one actually not have any arguments? Get command line W, let's see. Yeah, all right, well that one has no arguments. I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't need that. So yeah, a lot of these don't have parameters, which is fine, but oh yeah, let's just scroll through this. Oh, look at all these. No type information. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, look at all the type information. There we go. Yeah, so this is a good way just to look and see how our type libraries have improved. Just looking through basically the it's not actually the GOT. What is it called in a PE file? Just our data. Yeah, looking where we've got our import address tables basically to see the type information that gets applied. So ADV API, and we compare that to before. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Significantly better. Super, look at that. Totally complete. It would need to be 32-bit. Which would need to be 32-bit? Yeah, okay. So just looking here, kernel 32 we actually had decent before, and it's I think the same. I think is that one that didn't really change much. The stir ones. Yeah. So 30,000 types, 18,000 APIs, 330 libraries. And those 330 libraries are across three architectures, right? Because we've got ARM, x86, and x64. And so it's if you've got like Windows ARM too, same thing, you're going to get all the same type information. So like, let's see, user 32 had nothing before. So LZ32, that's a good example. We obviously don't have types for that. That's not super big surprise. Shell 32, shell WAPI. Yeah, user 32. No, don't turn on screensaver. I need to see chat. And then, so here's the one. Yeah, there are a couple of limitations. So this is one I know I've talked to Peter about. MSV CRT is one of the few libraries that we know we don't have in the current set. So this is on the roadmap. Actually, is there a separate issue for this, Peter? That's a good question. I don't know if this is separately tracked. I know some of the kernel types are being separately tracked. So is there another? Let me look at this one. Let's see. Do I have open for recent? Actually, let me just open up my download folder and let's look in what other bits of malware do I have. Just like looking for hashes. I think I have a samples folder. Let's see. There we go. I don't remember this streaming VM. What else I have in here? Yeah, we need a separate for MSV CRT, and I think like I thought you said shell WAPI was one of them, right? I thought you said that one, but I noticed I see types here. Shell WAPI looks good to me. Was it, or am I misremembering? Let me see, what was it you had said? Pull this out. I'm in something that oh, there we go. No, I'm misremembering. It was not shell WAPI. It was GDI plus, right? So some of the limitations include MSV CRT, which is probably, I think, the highest priority one. And the next highest is Windows kernel, NTDLL, and GDI plus. And I think NTDLL may be one of those that we already had some before. Let's see. I think there's already NTDLL types in there. So the old method that had generated some of the type libraries has some symbols for NTDLL. It just it wasn't a part of this updated new bundle where we made new ones. So, which were a little bit better tested and more rigorous. So I would say that is looking great. Oh yeah, let's go back and see if we can figure out what we were doing wrong here. I think there is, yeah, so what happened here? Oh, memset, because that's MSV CRT, ironically, right? So how do we do this? I've never actually used this before. It's set stack adjustment. All right. So I think I just tell it how many basically MSV CRT memset takes 3 parameters. Am I wildly off base? Yeah, 3 parameters. So it should be 12, right? Before I hit enter, we'll see if chat agrees or disagrees. But I think if I set that to be 12, because there's 3 arguments from memset, that should fix up the decompilation, which will get us all those name parameters back again. And again, like that one for this particular file is due to it's due to MSV CRT not having types. So okay, Peter says yes. Let's let it go. Oh, yep, it's empty. There is no unresolved stack usage now. That was the only one we had to set. So now let's just go to sudo C and look at this and see what we got. Yes, yes, yeah. Yes, we already said that one doesn't have any. Oh, actually, I want to go back to high level IO. I like high level. This is a good example. I like high level IO better than sudo C, right? Because I want to see the names for the parameters. I like that a whole lot better. Beautiful. Okay. Yep. Big wins. Big wins. Fantastic. This one. Uh-oh, did we lose it again? That one's maybe not working here. Yeah, in fact, you can say anytime you see all these ESPs, something's up. So that's not a good sign. I wonder if that actually changed. So that one may not be different than before. That could be something related to disassembly. So the names disappear at sudo C because you can't, this syntax is not valid C, right? Like you could do, I've seen another tool that does decompilation where it would do something like, let's see here, where it would put like this, right? Like in line, it would name the parameters this way, which is a little janky, but kind of gets you the, gets you that same behavior. Yeah, so you have to like, you can do it inline like that to convert these, which like, okay, sure, kind of works. But I'm not a huge fan of that. I really like being able just to see the syntax in that. So that would make it valid C basically. Well, assume I did all the other things that make it valid C there. Oh, hover, that's a good question. Hover might actually work. I just turned it off by default. That is very good. And if it doesn't, that would be nice. So if I go back to, well, sudo C might not have hover on variables actually. So let's see, hold control. Yeah, that's a good feature request. Tooltip, sudo C. So I have talked to Zane recently, and we were talking about like potential things. One of the suggestions was to go once school is out and it's possible to work full time again, to work on enhancing the sudo C view a little bit. So that's a really good one. Tooltip. Include default parameter name. Yeah, so it won't now. I mean, you can just hit, you can hit Shift-I and go back to high level IL to see it there. I mean, but yeah, that's a good point. To make it under like the hover, or if you like hovered the function name, that would be the other way to show. But that's actually a much better use. You know what? We've talked about this for a while, how we really don't like that when you hover over a function, it any function, for example, it gives you even like in assembly, it shows you the like the bytes there. It would be far more helpful to show you type information, I feel like there. That's actually a good. Yeah, the funny thing is I turn off tooltips. I don't like them so much because I'm usually like teaching classes, I'm pointing at stuff, and it actually just bugs me when tooltips pop up. So I have to like hold a hotkey to intentionally actually make them show up. So Stolas, that kind of works. Yeah, the bytes it doesn't make any sense. It's useless. The problem, Stolas, with that is that like that's only possible for like variables. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't go back to high level IO. It's only possible for variables, but when you have like constants, for example, you can't like name the constant because it's actually the constant, right? So like you have to show OX28 here. You can't show like you can't show desired access as the name of the variable. Or in this case, the process handle actually comes from the results of this other thing. And so unless you want to split it out and do a separate call, save it to a variable, and then put that variable here, which doesn't really make sense. You can't do that either because it's actually another function call. So it just doesn't work for some of those ways of doing things. So then you're left with doing that like block comment in line. Well, okay, so that's actually a separate issue that might even be tagged for 3.2, which is basically, in general, variable names should be smarter. So like, for example, this is a good one here. So I don't think we should change like the default, but like just all of these should absolutely be named LP file name, right? Like that should totally be true. So there's no way to do that now. Macro types. Okay, so I think we're gonna get there, sort of. We'll see, because that's related to the type parsing, unless somebody. So automatically renaming variables to be more intelligent. Although this is a good question. What do you name this thing? Because it's also WSPrintf is just param0 and param1. Is that actually what they call it? I'm really curious. Where did I put my browser? There it is. Yeah, unnamed parameter 1, unnamed parameter 2. Very fancy. So in that case, yeah, this is a good question though, why this is a little bit tricky. Like LP file name, for example, yeah, that same excuse me, same parameter gets used here. So you call it param0 or LP file name. Like obviously we can look at it and be like, yeah, LP file name is a much more useful indicator, but you can't tell that from just a, an automated standpoint. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with like auto naming. And that said, we do want to do a better job. Even simple stuff like for loops with counters should be named I. Like there's definitely room for improvement in the way that binary init does things. I think some of those things that oh, Stolas, I can build that in a snippet right now for sure. Like we could totally build that. Well, I don't want to do it today. Hold on, let me write a note. Snippet auto name variable. Yeah. Building that as like oh sure, just put the snippet in and then you've got a hotkey you can hit. That wouldn't be hard. Yeah, but first use, again, you're just kind of picking one. I don't know. I feel like you could do. We're going to think about that, right? Like this is a good example where part of the reason we don't have it is both good and bad. Sometimes we take too long to do something because we're trying to think of like the perfect way to do it. And sometimes that means we wait too long. Another feature that just landed today is go to main, right? Like if main exists when I open up a binary, it should go to that. So if I open Missy Elliott, let's try this. I go to main. If I go back to my stable release and I open Missy Elliott, I go to the entry point and then I have to double click to main. Like that's 2 clicks that I don't want to have to do. And that just landed today. It's really easy to implement a basic version of this. And what's happened is every other time we've thought about it before, we kind of think about like, well, what about this edge case or this edge case, and make sure we try to handle all possibilities. And so I would say in that case, we waited too long. We should have just done the quick and dirty, which would have just made people's lives better when it worked. And if it didn't, it didn't. But in contrast, like auto naming of variables, that might be worth actually taking time and doing it right and really thinking about, because I think we could probably do a better job than just throwing a couple of basic heuristics and doing a couple of simple things. Like maybe we can do that one better. So we'll see. Maybe in hindsight, we'll feel like, we should have done a crappier job earlier. It's definitely something we're always kind of debating, right? Of like, when do you do it the right, robust, handle all edge cases way, and when do you just do something that's good enough for now? So, because part of the problem is once you do something that's good enough for now, when you actually solve it, it's going to get pushed way back. But anyway, so oh yeah, that was another good little feature to demonstrate. Go to main. It's honestly one of my pet bugs. I wrote a snippet to do that a couple weeks back just to demonstrate like how easy it could be. But I was like, I don't want to write the C++. Can somebody else please port this for me? And so thank you, Galen, for doing that yesterday. And so that's in now too. Which, like I said, it's little stuff like that that I think really, when you add up a bunch of changes like that, it really makes a big difference. So I like that. Oh, and it's also, yay, Cat's here. Did you hear earlier? I called you out. Welcome. in a good way, but I called you out. So if you look under, let's see, what's it called? Yeah, first navigate. So there's a setting called first navigate, which you can turn off too if you don't want it. And you can also specify which functions that you want to go for. Yes, memory mapping is coming as a part of what's 3.3 now, I believe. The embedded release is definitely going to include a UI for doing memory mappings for sure. Yeah, that one's on the near term-ish radar, medium term-ish radar for that release. I think that with maybe like container views and maybe like backing memory not by file, some of those changes like that would make working with just raw firmware images better. Yeah, that's on the roadmap there. So cool. Yeah, if people actually have other binaries they want me to look at to see what they look like with the new type libs, I'm up for it. I'm just gonna check my host, not with that terminal. Check my host and see if I have. There we go. My samples file contains 4 random bits of malware. Perfect. I bet one of them is probably this one. It's not even this file. Cool. Let's copy all these files into Dreambox samples. I think it was just in my samples folder here too, right? Samples. Yeah. Cool. Let's put it there. All right. So let's open up some new samples. Boombox. Did I say Boombox? Streambox. It's what I named my VM. It's called Streambox. Actually, it's Streambox 2 because Streambox 1 stopped working. Which thing should be simple with Windows APIs? All right, hold on. Not downloads. Let's go to samples. All right, now we got some new ones. Let's actually hold on. Let's do this. Let's open for triage. And let's look in samples. And let's grab everything with a hash in its name. Yeah, and do that. Enter. Oh, I thought, no, there's a way to, oh, hold on. Right click. Yeah, open selected files. There we go. So open for triage is, this is the malware workflow, right? This was what it was designed for. It's to quickly just open. It's really fast, basic analysis, doesn't trigger a lot of stuff. That's cute. Think of this one. A repeating pattern. It's fun when there's stuff and you're like, that almost, is that like an image or something? Yeah, it does look like image data. That very much looks like image data. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. I always love it when you see stuff like that. Wow, really? What is this awful sample? Are you serious? There's some terrible strings in this thing. I should be more careful about opening up random hashes. I do say this is not made for children, at least. Yeah, I'm not going to look at any more of the strings of this binary, but this is obviously something not nice. So let's look here as well. Actually, it's I will let's go to the triage view because I think from triage summary we can also start the full analysis. So when you open something for triage view, yeah, I assume it's just kind of like chaff. They wanted to generate random HTTP requests, and then yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to share this. I have no idea where the sample came from. I just always like put sample like malware samples in my like a random folder. And I don't have, I don't do any long-term malware REs, so I just have like files with hashes. And I'm like, who knows what this one is? But it's probably good for testing Windows type libraries. So I can click Start Full Analysis, and that will actually do the more detailed like binge analysis. You'll see the functional lists updating as it finds things. But if I, go to the entry points and, oh look, a call to memset, which is again gonna get, this is gonna mess up. Actually, here, let's just set memset types. I know, don't judge me. I just want to get the number of arguments right. So let's here. This is a better thing. Let's just go look through the actual imports here and see what types we got. All right, so GDI IMM. Oh, and again, yeah, let's do the same thing. Let's open this up in stable and we'll compare and contrast. Which one was that? That was OA. So OA. Let's just go through here. All right, so ADV API was decent before. It was in there, but now it is perfect. Com DLG. Yep, better. Wow, even D3 compiler? Wow. Yep, D3 decompiler. GDI 32, IMM 32. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, look at that. If that's not making you happy as a Windows analyst, I don't know what does. That's much better. Look at all that. All right, so kernel 32, MSVCP. So MSVCP 140 was actually there before, but shell 32, user 32 was mixed results. Shell 32 is good. User 32 is good everywhere. Look at all those types. VC runtime, nothing there. So I don't see. Yeah, we actually should grab. Well, I guess would that be considered part of like MSVCRT? I guess it would. I think. When MM we've got X inputs we've got. I bet none of these are going to be in. Nope. Nope. In there before. Yeah. So anyway, significantly. These like the .NET API names? No, C runtime. Okay, still more C runtime stuff. So to answer your questions, let's start with Windows 3.1 out. The sometime after May 10th. The current release date is listed as May 10th. It will be sometime after that. Not sure exactly how much yet. Maybe a week, maybe two, maybe three. We're waiting to see when a particular performance feature can land. And we've got a couple other key features we want to get in. And so we'll see exactly. But you can check on our GitHub and check out the milestones. You'll see whatever the current date is here. Like I said, that's the earliest. It's probably going to be after that, but exactly how far after that just depends on when a couple of features kind of are rounded up. So, oh, sorry, let me get the next question. So, Saptarshi, yeah, I'm actually trying the malware sample right now. This is actually what I'm looking at. I'm showing off, this is the before. So if you see basically these are imports on a random piece of malware. So like let's look at like say how user 32, like half these things don't have any types at all. They're missing any arguments. And then if I switch to the new one, we see significantly more here, or even let's see, there's a couple more. Like I think we had CP before. Yeah, so we're just looking through here. You'll see where, yeah, here's the GDI IMM 32. Before we had no symbols, and now we've got symbols. So if we actually go and look at where these, if we find where these are used, and we look at the analysis of those functions, we'll see significantly better analysis. Oh, split the bottom two sections. Yeah, no, great question. You just drag it. So like if you got log in the Python console, you just drag it over here. My window manager is the reason the whole window is resizing, because I got like a tiling window manager just so I get maximum screen real estate on this VM. But you just grab the title, and then you can combine it, you can split it. Just these two things, or anything down here, what's called the global area, you can do that with. That's how you do that one. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so debugger is going to be on 3.1 stable, but it's actually, that's next on the list, I think, after type libraries. We're going to take a look at that. The debugger is in this build. Y'all can check it out today. It landed this morning. And let's see. Yes, and that's so type libraries, and this is, so Peter and I were talking about this recently. We probably want to like rebrand or even redesign, or just think about how type information is done. because and IDA does the same thing. In fact, you know, there's even more ways because you can have like type information that's just like prototypes. You can have type information that's serialized into per library um, uh, libraries. You can have flirt flare style things, which are just the byte pattern matching for statically compiled stuff. And we've kind of done like similar where we have what we differentiate as BNTLs, binary ninja type libraries, and signatures. So if you look in like your install path to binary ninja, and there's a typelib folder, and inside there you'll find BNTLs. The BNTLs are, in fact, actually, we can look at some of these. Actually, let's go and look at the latest ones though. See, so this is my dev install. See, x86 and file. Let's just pick one HTTPD. All right, so it's, oh, I guess this one is actually pickled. There's a little bit of compression and pickling stuff going on here, but you can dump this out, and it's essentially just a JSON, like compressed JSON that you can see a little bit of the start of it up there, but it has like a GUID, it has all the serialized type information, and that's that basically just has a list of all the APIs, all the types, all of the parameters, returns, all that stuff, and then when you match something that imports that library, it knows to pull in all those types and then apply them to all the functions that match. This is a good question. Let's see if we get what enums we get. So let's see, I've opened up this binary, and so I've loaded in a bunch of these type libraries. And so let's see. I should have, yes, the cough header stuff. Let's see, there's a bunch of type defs. Yeah, so most of these you can see are type defs just to be able to get like all the Windows types. Let's load stuff. There's a struct called overlapped. So you're going to get a whole, but these are, and again, just to point out, these are system types. So in Binary Ninja, you can differentiate between, hey, I'm a user and I just made some manual structure or type def or whatever I did here, and it will just show those. But if you turn on this, it will show you all the ones that like it just automatically applied to. So I'm looking here to see if there were any enums that pulled in. Yeah, so there you go. So cough characteristics is an enum for you. So cough characteristics though is the loader. Can I just search for enum? Will that actually give me all? I'm trying to find one that would have been pulled in by one. If one of these APIs that this thing imported had an enum, then it would be in here, I believe. I just don't think any of these APIs happen to do it. So you listed an example, OpenReg. Does OpenReg, so is HKey, well here, actually, I think we should be able to double click the type. So in the current database, that's just defined as an empty struct, this HKey under. And again, this is data we're pulling out of, I mentioned it before, but there's a, if somebody else wants to pull it up, I can find it later. There's the, here, there it is. This repo right here actually is like a Microsoft project that specifically scrapes out all their type information. So if it was an enum in here, we should have it as enum. If it's not, like as in this case, it looks like it's, oh wait, hold on, I'm in the wrong, sorry. That might be wrong. Let's go to, yeah, let's look at that binary here. Let's see. We might actually get different results now. I gotta see, that's the problem when I have like the old stable and the new dev open at the same time. So certainly we have way more types now. Oh yeah, no, there we go. You can already see that. Right, there we go. Look at that. Yes. So we have significantly better enums now built in. And actually you can see that this is actually called, you can check the, the data references for the type, and you can actually see its co-create instance in this case has an enum as one of its parameters. CLS CTX. All right, and actually let's look for what was it? OpenReg. Oops. OpenReg. Reg open. Reg open key. Do we have? reg sam flags is an enum, but at least in the original definition here, h key is still not an enum. It's just a struct of some sort, I think. So like, but here, reg sam flags has this particular enum. Actually, so the thing is, I don't, in this particular binary, I don't see any actual calls to this though. So, whatever random sample I opened, who knows what weird obfuscation, if there's something else going on. There's obviously a bunch of stuff up here that is code that Binary Ninja's not finding, whether it's because it's it doesn't really look packed. Yeah, I don't know offhand exactly, but there's a bit of code in there that's probably going to call that import. Virtual protect, yeah, if there's something that calls virtual protect, I mean, so page protections, yeah, that's another one there. Yep. So all those enums are there. Now I think there is an open issue that that is not going to be solved, which is actually I kind of want I'm curious if somebody writes a really simple app that just calls virtual protect. Are any of the Vector35 people on that have like a Windows dev machine up that want to like make something that just calls like a hello world style thing that just calls virtual protect? I want to see, because what you can't do is be able to say at the call that uses it. Actually, no, I think it does work. Zane just walked by. Zane has a Windows build environment set up. All right, when Zane's walking back, I'll ask. Yeah, so the H keys are defined, but you saw obviously all the other enums. So I think we should actually get the enums translated in one of these calls. So I kind of want to test that though, and make sure that comes through. But it looks like the type libraries themselves, yes, we're getting all those enums, which looks great. So this data is much higher quality. So we're getting lots and lots of enum. Actually, can I just search for enum now and see all of the enums? All of the enums. Here they are. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask Zane real quick. I'm gonna explain the request. Okay, no, yeah, you can stay off camera. Okay, so here's the request. Can you just make me like a Windows hello world that calls virtual protect, or any actual Windows API that takes an enum as an argument?
Right now?
Yeah. Just like build it in like.
My Windows laptop.
If you don't have your Windows build environment handy, that's fine. That's fine. That's not a big deal.
If I get home, I can send you one.
That's fine. I'll read on the stream. That's okay. It's no big deal. Or if you know a binary that would have it, that would just like I could test out. Just something really simple that like
that calls virtual protect?
That calls any Windows API that has an enum as a parameter. I mean, I guess actually, hold on. I should just.
Are any of them actually enums, or are they just defined?
Yeah, no. Virtual protect page protections are enum.
Oh, those. Wait, no. Those are defines.
Are they? Well, page protection flags shows up here as an enum in the API text, but Joe's got me covered. Chat's got it. We're good.
Well,
Thanks, Joe. So yeah, I'm really actually, and hindsight, I probably should just test. I could do like my own little like C sample thing and test it too, right? Like it doesn't need to be a Windows binary. It just needs to test the enum thing. Yeah, I'm curious if you make so if we make an enum, make a hello world. See, I just don't like showing off how bad of a programmer I am. Well, whatever. I need to own it, right? This is fine. Like if I literally take what is test.c? Oh, test.c has some stuff here. There's no way I wrote that. That's way too many bits of code. So let's see. If I want to make an enum here. Nope. Here, yeah. All right. So int enum, is that works? Enum name int L1. Is it like this is how bad I am. I'm telling you, I'm a bad developer. That's why I only touch like the API. Val2. See, Andrew also probably could have made me one. All right. Let's just do this. So let's make an enum called values, and let's call void test int val, and printf the value is %d_val, except is that a pointer to that? I don't see. I don't code. I'm just a bad developer. All right. And then we're gonna call test values.val1. Can I do this? Can I do this? Right. So first of all, so there is no m hotkey in Binja for sure. Values undeclared. This not. Do I have to actually do like values here? Request remember value when it's something not a structure or a union. See, I don't even know how enums work. I should probably just Google how to enum. See enum example. Oh, sure. That'll work. Yeah. In IDA, I believe it is M. I've heard people refer to it by that. But I think it's safe. Let's just do enum values. And when did you? But when do you define? Oh, yeah, it is this the constant stops with your spam. Val1, val2. So just like this. And then how would I actually refer to it? Week. Enum week. Okay, so enum val values, or no, the way around. Values val. Then where do you? Yeah, okay. Val equals val1, and let's get rid of some loops. Are these all warnings? Are these all warnings? Hey, these are all warnings. Okay, so val1, and I can do val2. And we should get, oops, let's actually compile it. And I still get 0, right? Did I not? I feel like, oh, test. Oh, that's right. Whoops. All right. I didn't actually need to do that. Value is val1. Okay, cool. So now I've got a little sample binary. And we'll open our new Binja, and we're going to open test. And we are going to make a new enum. Enum val. How do I call that again? Values. Can I just do this and spell it right? I can. And then my test parameter, I can say it takes values val. Okay. Oh, yeah. So there you go. Okay, so that was a really long. Welcome, Amy. You're watching me be very bad at programming, but it worked in the end. So the question this came from was, we're showing off all the new Windows type libraries. They are looking great. And the question came up of, if one of these is like an enum, for example, are you going to show the enum value properly? And the answer is yes. Yes, we do. And we checked and verified that these Windows APIs automatically are extracting the enum information, and we then separately verified that, like, if I have an enum and I define it and I have that as part of the parameter types, Binja is going to refer to it by that enum. So I should be able to, like, yeah, and that's basically what I did here is, right, like if I just applied that enum type to this parameter. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. It's not that rare. Sorry, let me make sure I didn't miss anything else in chat. Oh, so if we're in like disassembly view in particular, or I mean, so let's see. Like this is a really bad example. Let's go back to our slightly more interesting one. And let's find like an actual piece of code. So yeah, we don't name, for example, even if we know the arguments at higher levels of IL, we don't propagate those lower, right? So if you're in low level IL, you don't see that. But if you're in medium level IL, you do. Medium level IL and high level IL, you get those names. Excuse me. Yeah, that might not be a bad option to be able to turn those on. I think part of our philosophy is that by showing the things at the level where they're generated or they're applicable, it's a little more consistent. And then any kind of like mappings between the two, I don't know. It's still probably like a useful thing to have. But I'm happy the enum stuff works. The types work. Windows looks good. Well done, everybody. Claps in the chat for Peter. Good job. We have far better. Yeah, like in the disassembly view, being able just to like get like comments out here and or just annotations. You know, ironically, we show annotations like this, and we show annotations for like constant values and stuff. So like if like we added this to some other thing, you would actually see this annotation for this value at the side. Like, hey, I know this value at this point. Like here, right here, there's one. Like we know that this value when we popped it was still 0. Or here, like we pushed, called, and popped. Because we presumably the calling convention, we know that this thing doesn't impact that, and it sure looks like it doesn't. And then so we'll do some that kind of annotation. But yeah, it would be nice to name these variables. Well, I guess the other options too, if they were just named when they were parameters to things, right? So that was the other one. Well, in this case, it's not actually the return value, but you can still name it, right? Like you could name it, you know, like it's a bool and there's other information. So cool. All right. Well, type libraries. I had not actually tried them yet. That was I'm glad. I'm very glad. They looked great. I'm really happy with it. So I was a little. It's always nerve-wracking doing it live on the air for the first time. But let's look at you got a couple more binaries. So if you want to look at some of the other ones. We can kick off full analysis, and then we can go look at any of these imports over here. Actually, you can just peruse them in the triage view and see if there's any. So we've already seen all of these modules. So let's see if there's any new modules, any of these other bits of malware. It's all kernel 32, user 32, GDI 32, maybe a couple of GDI 32s that we haven't seen before. Again, they all look good. I don't know what an HTC is, but we have the type. Oh, well, okay, very fancy. It's an int. Yeah, there's a super new there. And this one, what do we got here? ADV API, we've already seen, kernel 32. But yeah, tons of new type of. Oh, one minor caveat. Right now, the first binary you open in Binja takes about a second longer to load than it used to, because the way that the type libraries currently work is Binary Ninja has to open and parse the entire type library. It doesn't like deserialize everything, but it has to parse the JSON just to figure out like what's the GUID or what's the DLL that this library applies to. And then once it's done that, it has a much smaller list of like, these are the type libraries, these are the mappings. And then when you open a file, it knows which ones to actually import all the types from. That's a little slower than obviously it used to be, just because there's so many more type libraries. But one, that's like a one-time cost. Literally the first time you launch Binja and open a file, it will be there, but then any other files you open, it's not. And two, we know how to fix this, and now that we just have so many more type libraries, it's kind of something we're going to start looking at. But the fix is essentially, we'll probably make a version 2 of the file format and make it so that you can query the metadata for that file without parsing the whole file. You don't have to depickle and do JSON or whatever, all that. You don't have to do all the other parsing. You can just say, what's this library for? What's its GUID or type or DLL name or whatever it is, and then that'll be instantaneous. But it was a small enough thing, we figured it wasn't going to impact stuff. And when you weigh that with all the other performance improvements we've had, you won't even notice, right? Like if you're going from stable to stable, it'll still be so much faster that you won't even notice that. Yeah, definitely accept our street. Let us know about your results. Let us know how things go with it. Um, oh, and debugging. Oh, that's a good question. Let's talk about debugging because that's another one that I have not looked at live yet. And I'm going to close down stable because I don't think I need it anymore, and I don't want to accidentally be using the wrong version. So let's close some of these tabs. And actually, Missy Element is an elf. CD downloads, Missy. I think I can run that, right? Yeah, okay. So there's a binary I can run, which means I can debug it. So let's go check our settings. A couple of caveats. The debugger is currently... Oh, I haven't seen this debug functionality for the plugin manager. Actually, I haven't noticed that one before. It's currently in beta, and it's kind of hidden behind this setting. So it's just not going to be on by default. You have to turn it on. Part of the reason that we've done that is because we just haven't taken the time that we want to like work on the UIs in particular. Target terminal, debugger console, stack trace. I love it. Here's the little bug icon. I'm sorry, I'll fix. We have a better icon. We need to get loaded in. But like this is the debugger. So there is a debugger now. So if I open up Missy Elliott, for example. All right, Missy Elliott's open, and I go to the debugger. Let's run the binary. Okay, I've stopped at a breakpoint. Hey, let's go to main and let's toggle a breakpoint there. I like it. And now let's resume. Like we could resume using the command palette, I think. Does it all require it to be in focus? All right, see, this is what we're making notes for. So like, I think the other debugger things should be available via the, well, hold on. Breakpoint was available, right? Yeah. So what else do we have in the debugger? Oh, okay, so it has run to here, step to, maybe resume is just run? No, it's already running. Disabled, attach, restart, quit, detach. Oh, resume. Resume is there. Can it debug DLLs with ordinals? I have no idea. So I know that's yeah. There's I haven't tried that. Well, I'm on a Linux VM right now, so I'm not sure. I actually don't have a Windows VM. Yeah, maybe I do. I'd have to check it out later. I need to make a clean one. But I do want to test that out. And like I said, we're doing like debugger just landed on dev, so definitely let us know any functionality and bug fixes and whatnot. You should be able to go. Actually, vector 35 debugger. So the repo should be here. You can please feel free. You can see, just double check all the other existing issues that are kind of known ones. The only thing that I ask is don't file issues for like the UI. The icons are great. Like we know. There's definitely some UI stuff that, like I said, those are kind of still in work, and the UI design and stuff we still kind of want to play with. This is not the final form of it, but hide feature map. Let's get some more space over there. Let's actually kill the Python console, for example. Let's show log. That's right. I don't want to. I want to drag it back into there, and that glitchy thing is because of my my window manager. And let's take debugger console and put that over here, and leave stack trace over here. Okay. So now I've got to debug. Yeah, there's a. Can I do question marks? Help. Okay. So I've got LLDB commands. You can use to debug it. You can do raw LLDB commands right from the console here. Yeah, so here's my register, or my CPU rather. Or sorry, yeah, my CPU state with registers. And let's single step, right? So I've got my breakpoint. This looks like step into, yeah. Or so let's do step over. Okay, we still had our, oh, right, we want to resume actually because I made my first breakpoint. We were going to test that. So resume. Went to my second breakpoint at main. Breakpoints based on API name. That's a good question. Let us, So I don't think there is a, I think right now it's there, but hold on, let's see. Help DBG. There is a, well, let's actually look in the user guide too. So open the user guide. And let's see. Oh, not user guide, I want API docs. Is it API docs? I don't know if or is it debugger docs? Debugger docs used to be a separate menu, but I think now that it's here, it might just be API reference. Let's see. Yeah, debugger right here. Debug adapter, debug enums, debug controller, debug info. So maybe controller. So I think we can debug breakpoint. Represents a breakpoint. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Breakpoints. I believe it supports more. Let's look at the code and adapters. So GDB, LLDB, RSP. I know it's been tested on Windows. I don't know which one of these it's using or how that's working on Windows. Actually, does it say in the README? No, or no. Yeah, again, early beta. We got it working. We got it functional. We're getting it into y'all's hands. This is not the the final state of it. And there's a typo. FUNCIOTNS typo. Fix that after stream. Oh, in the drop down. What platform are you on? If you're, yeah, that might be why. I don't know if all backends are supported on all platforms. Let me see. So actually, if I quit this one and I go back to the debugger, is it there or is there a separate? There used to be a, or is it attach? Okay, that's your running PID. Which dropdown are you even getting? I don't remember which. Yeah, okay. I mean, it could very well be. Like I said, I haven't been watching it closely. Then go back to look at the issues. Windows. Oh. It looks like it's, yeah, it looks like it's using LDB currently. Oh, here, compatibility matrix. This looks nice. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is what he wanted. This should be in the README actually. This would be a nice thing to put up there. Oh, settings. That makes sense. Debugger. Where'd it go? Debugger. Oh, the only thing it does right now is if you have the Python debugger, you can set this to disable the other one. I don't know that's not the settings UI then. It's like the debugger settings over here, I presume. I'm actually not seeing that. All right, but I'm gonna go back to this. Let's do this. We still got our breakpoint set, so let's run it. Let's resume. All right, and now I want to set a breakpoint like on fgets, for example. So let's see if we can do that via if there's like a little API that we can do that with. That's a good experiment. So let's look here. Breakpoints. Add breakpoint. Debug controller. Is it just DBG? Is it debug controller dbg dot add breakpoint address? Cool. bv dot get function. Actually, let's do get. I think if I do get symbol by raw name fgets. So let's do this. Let's just double check it first. I think it's just dot value or address. All right. Okay, so if we do, did that add a breakpoint? And let's go, oh, I used fgets, right? Fgets here. So the symbol, or was it this one? Now here. Yeah, okay, it did it on the, yeah, the symbol is here, which is going to be like in the extern section, I think. Looks like this is, wait, is this extern? No. No, that's not an extern, that's just in, no, current section is what I wanted. Is there a magic first current section? Oh, I've got this extra memory addresses because this is the actual memory as it's loaded. It rebased the whole thing. Okay, that's cool. So this is where, yeah, that's why these, I bet if I open this up from, yeah, these are just because it's been rebased. Yeah, that's cool. That's really nice. I didn't even notice that. But it rebased it all, and all of our pointers and everything got updated. So the API, so Ryan, I just set a breakpoint on this current selection that was based on an import. Sorry, on the symbol name fgets. So if I think if I resume, let's see. Is it still going to break there or is it not? No, let me search you. Okay, so it didn't set that there because it was an import. It didn't work. I would need to. That's quite nice. That's much better than the last Python debugger though. The built-in terminal thread stack trace. Yeah, this is definitely an improvement. So I think what I would want on an import, let's see. I think I want to add the breakpoint not on here, but what I want to do is bb.get code refs to that. Let's do next. Dot address. Right, that should give me. So if I actually feed this into my add breakpoint, okay. So let's rerun it. Let's run. Let's add. So you could put a little wrapper on this, which should be kind of nice because you'd want to be able to detect if it's import. You actually want to get the. I always forget if it's PLT versus GOT versus which one it is, but whatever it is, like I found the symbol for fgets, and then I want to find not that thing, but I want to find the code reference to that where it's going to dereference it because the debugger is never going to see me go through the real thing because it's loading the pointer and going there. And so I think add breakpoints. I think I just do this. Let's see. So now if I go to main, let's turn off this. So let's hit F2. No, function. Oh, wait. That feels like a little bit of a bug. Yeah. Let's see, dbg. Can I get breakpoints? Breakpoints, cool. All right, well that's nice, but can I just remove one? Delete breakpoint, yeah, okay. Back here, and just turn off the one I hear. I don't have one here, but I have a tag here. So I think this is, so we're using tags with this like emoji icon to set these things. So all right, but I think then if I resume, I'm not going to break here because I think that's just like a leftover tag. I think it's because I had the breakpoint on before, but then I restarted. But I have 1, 2, 3 break. 1, 2, 3, 4 breakpoints. Oh, wait a minute. Did that not work right? That's interesting. Oh no, that's the same. That's the same thing. Oh, that's just all the rep. Oh, that's right. That's the one repper for that breakpoint. That's right. Never mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right. I have one here. Oh, and these were set at the unrebased addresses here. I bet that's why. I bet that's if I open up fresh, I'd see 1385. No, 137D. Oh yeah. Okay. That is it. 137D is main. That's right. So that is the entry point at main, but it's before it got rebased. I wonder if the breakpoints work with both addresses, both the rebased one. All right. Let me. So actually, let's just do debug. Can I just do about resume here? I bet I can do resume here too. No. Let's look through this. I'm curious. So breakpoints. Look at the command line. Connection status data. Detached. Oh, go would work, right? Is that just going to resume or is that going to launch a new one? Let's see. I think it wants to stop operations, so that may not be right. All right. Did I break it or can I just resume now? Resume. Okay, so that answers my question. I do have a breakpoint here, but I have a breakpoint here at the unrebased address, right, before it was loaded into memory. Which is why if I try to toggle the breakpoint, it's just going to create a new one at the new virtual address, which is probably the right thing in terms of like not breaking. But I think we need to think through the workflows still a little bit. It's nice that you can set a breakpoint on a virtual address after it's been rebased, or you can set it based on the native on disk or the native like just static analysis. You know, like the unrebased address here, like these addresses. So that's actually kind of nice, but there's a little bit of problems with the UI then, like clearing out the old ones. But all right, anyway, are we going to stop at fgets? Here's the question. If this works, then the import thing was solved by that one-liner. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so that did not work to set a breakpoint in the import. That's a good question. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. Let me make a list. Oh, I can't read my handwriting at all. Hold on. All right, hold on. There's that. Typo there. Recognize that. Okay, I can read that. And then the last one is breakpoint on an import. Yeah, I don't doubt it's possible. I'm just wondering what I'm sure I'm just doing something wrong. This is like I said, you're watching me like literally use this for the very first time. I have not tried the debugger yet. Sometimes I like to be prepared and I want to get like best foot forward, and sometimes I just YOLO it. And I want y'all to see this is me figuring it out for the first time too. It's more authentic that way. That's so Ryan, make sure you ask that question in the Binja Slack in the debugger channel. It is like 5 a.m. I think in Shushung's time zone right now. So and it'll be Saturday when he wakes up. So it may be a little bit before he gets back to you, but you should definitely ask in there because that's a very good question. And if there's not an ability to do that now, that would be really nice to add that before it's unstable. All right, let me go back. I think I kept catching a couple. Oh, these settings. Duh, good point. So thank you. Okay, in my defense, it was just off the screen. No wonder I wasn't seeing settings. Okay. Maybe, yeah, I don't know about like defer breakpoints or yeah, like equivalent like BA on Windows or something like that. Say, okay, I'm glad you guys. This is what people tell me. They'd rather see me fail and do it for real and not be fake, and so this is why I do it. But as a like streamer and as a like I'm trying to like represent the company and do well. I feel guilty sometimes for doing it that way. But I'll keep doing the mixture. I mostly do it live. I want it to be real. Yeah, so I thought that, well, I can see here. First, let me look at this. Okay, so one, yes, LDB is the only drop down now. Let's go back to that compatibility matrix. Okay, so yes, both Windows and Mac OS are actually just still planned. Oh, sorry, this is target and then the host. So running Linux on Linux is a yes. Running Mac on Mac is a yes. Running Windows on Windows is a yes. So right now it's only native debugging, but Remote, okay, maybe. Whether you can do remote stuff, it's there. Okay, and so there is some support for using dbgeng. So I don't know what yeah, that looks pretty early then. So yeah, still rolling out some of these, it looks like. Okay, cool. So yeah, good. If you do on Windows run it, you'll get dbeng. Good. I mean that is consistent with what this says, although it only says partial, so I wonder what that means. There's no definition for partial. And yeah, like we basically have no plans to get from Linux debug against a Windows one for now. Unfortunately. So it's a bit of a headache, but yeah, you're not going to from a Mac debug Linux. Well, no, you totally could. You could totally do that because you can do it via GDB server. Like if you're running it like QEMU, you could do that, or LLDB, right? Like you can do remote. If it's something that works over GDB or LLDB, you'd be able to do it remotely here, right? Well, once this needs testing stuff, maybe gets a little more polished, but theoretically you could. Oh, so offset relative breakpoints are probably just going to work here. Like, let's try this. So let's go to main. Let's actually rerun this. And let's go to start. Let's go to main. I have that one still set. So I think if I resume, I should go to main, right? Resume. All right, I'm at main. Right, so I'm here. And like if I just wanted to, like if I'm in high level IL, which by the way too, if I set a breakpoint here in high level IL, that should pretty much work, but it's, mappings can get weird. So if I go back down to like disassembly, for example, let's calculate here minus current oops, I'm not in the Python console. Here minus current function.start. So this is 97 bytes past where I'm currently at. So if I'm, I do have to, that's why I was seeing those two breakpoints. Yeah, because multiple addresses. That's, yeah, setting breakpoints in high level IL doesn't surprise me that I would see that behavior that I saw before. So can I toggle this? Maybe F2 on this one? There we go. And there's 3 dots still. I'm wondering if this one may not be using the tag system then actually. Hold on, let's look at tags. I think you may have, okay, no, breakpoints are tags. Ooh, wait a minute. And the program counter is there. Oh, okay. So the program, it is using tags, and there's the program counter. So that's where PC currently is. And I did have another breakpoint here. I don't know what the dots are, though. I don't see dots here. Is it like leftover? Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. No Windows ARM, not for native running. When Windows ARM is actually deployed, like nearly the fraction that Mac OS ARM is, we'll talk. But until then, yeah. So okay, so the relative debug, right? What I would do again, this is like a perfect use case for a snippet. Although actually, I think snippets probably needs to be told how to get this dbg object. So right now, if I try to run a snippet, I bet that wouldn't work. Actually, let's test it, but I'm pretty confident it's not going to work. Yeah, I got an error. Right. It's just not going to work because of the way snippets works. I mean, I wrote it. I don't know. I don't know that. It is. Is that even going to be doable? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. We got to figure out how to. But yeah, I would really like to be able to run DBG stuff from snippets, but I'll have to think about how we could expose that because that would be super nice. Sorry, Cat. I know. Cat was one of like the first Windows ARM, please. Yeah, I think we're gonna solve that. We just solved that by sending you a better laptop. It was literally a cheaper solution than trying to do that. We'll see. Although I think we've told you if you want to try it for yourself, you can, but we just don't want the support headache of shipping it and having to deal with all the bugs right now. But if someone really cares about somebody with a valid license who really cares about ARM Windows, you can ping Cat on Slack, and if Cat can get it working, you're welcome to share a single build, but there is zero support, whatsoever, if you even get it to work. And, don't put company time on it. That's all I'm saying. Because like that's the problem is we don't want to deal with like the support headache of it, right? When it's likely to be a lot of work for a tiny audience. So I just don't recommend it. I would not, and the performance on this machine is so bad right now. So that there's just the gulf between M1 and everything else is bad. All right, so back to this. We're gonna set our relative breakpoint. So we know it was 97 bytes past the function start, right? So we should be able to do dbg.add. You know, like the idea is if you want to do a relative breakpoint, you would just do dbg.add breakpoint here plus 97. Right? Now, this didn't change anything in the UI, but I don't know if that's because maybe if I bet the UI actually adds, that's a good question. If you add something via the API, it doesn't look like it impacts there, but if I do dbg.breakpoints, no, hold on. Here is this address. Does it need to be? That's the start one. These ones I don't see. We can go back over here. That's actually kind of nice. I think these are clickable when you switch, even though it's from the other sessions. Actually quite nice. So main, this is main and start for the unrebased one. I don't see that it added that address. So if I'm still, no, we want to go to main, right? This is where I got selected. And let's just look at what the address is again. I would have expected this to work, but so what is this address? Okay, I tried to set it on, I thought I tried to set it on one of these calls, but yeah, so maybe the add break, actually, I didn't confirm last time that the add break point worked. I don't think that's working. It doesn't look like that one's actually working. Yeah, that's fair. You can actually get in just an M1 with parallels with WinArm, but like, but why? So add breakpoints, I'm gonna call sus on that. But I would very much like that to work. Because yeah, once like you can add a breakpoint like that, you could literally have just like a little, you know, super easy hotkey to bring up on like add a breakpoint dialog box that you passed through the Binary Ninja parse expression API and bv.parse expression. Parse expression is neat. That's basically what the G dialog uses, like when you like go to an address, because it supports all sorts of nifty features. So you can do parse expression and pass it like $ plus, yeah, like whatever you want, or like plus some offset times some number, right? Like you can pass it like arbitrary math like that, and it will actually produce, I thought $ was the current. Oh, I think you have to give it, if you want to do that, I think maybe you have to give it a separate, yeah, here is equal to that. Yeah, okay. So if you want to do it from here, you would do bv.parse expression. And then that's the expression. And then here is here. So I think I can just do $ plus that. Right. So yeah, wiring up this, and actually this should just be built in. You're right. Like being able to like set a breakpoint with parse expression would let you. So let me see if I, well, hold on, let me finish my, so yeah, so basically doing parse expression like this will give you like a really nice ability to just do like exactly the like little shortcut style, like syntax with math and all that stuff, but then have it pipe through to the breakpoints. So you want a snippet or a headless script to automatically get run. So particularly for the debugger you're talking about, right? Like you want to have the debugger, like every time I open this file, run this thing to do a bunch of stuff with memory or whatever it's going to do. Kind of like, so we have like the Python RC right now. Where is that documented? That's in, where is this? Startup? Startup.py. Default Python commands to run once the UI is loaded in the context of the scripting console. Yeah, so like you want that for GDB. Yeah, exactly, for the debugger. Okay. That's a great feature request. So, yeah, if you want to throw that on the debugger repo, yeah, for a startup Or, you know, I guess the probably the Binja way of doing it would be rather you want to have event handlers, right? You want to have callbacks that you can register for, and then you could just implement that. What you do is you'd have the Binja plugin that would implement much like you have, so what's it called? Like on before open, I think is one of them. On before open file. Hold on, where is that? It's because it's in the that's a UI callback. That's why. Let's try here. Yes. Yeah, exactly. All these like the UI event handlers like these, right? Like on before all these things, you can in a Binary Ninja plugin, you can register for. In fact, actually the go-to main snippet that I was using, where is that? Gist.github.com ciphertext. Do I have go-to main here? I thought I had. Let's see here. Main. Oh, I didn't make that public. Hold on. Go-to main. There we go. Can I just switch one to public? Yeah, it's secret now. If I edit it, make public. There we go. Cool. All right. So go-to main did this. It basically you register you know UI context notification, and you register for on after open file or whatever event type that you want to get, and then your plugin, you just define this class and it will automatically register it, and then you'll get this callback called for whichever ones you registered for. So yeah, just basically having callbacks for like a bunch of different debugger events would be super nice. I agree. No promises, because like I said, there's a good list already of like in terms of timing. But yeah, no, I think that clearly is a good feature request worth asking for. Let me think. Just making sure. Hold on, we got a long list of stuff. We're not going to cover everything flawlessly, but we've done Windows type libraries. We've done the debugger now, which definitely a little bit of hiccups, but like it looks better than the Python one, and it's working so far. I'm happy with it. Shushang, good work. If you watch the stream later, very pleased. So we'll keep working on again the UI. That needs more testing, getting up some more of that compatibility matrix and kind of improving things. But overall, I like having a real console. I love having like the terminal console kind of built in. I think it's definitely, you can tell it's an improvement over the last one. So this is good work. The last one, and let me check my tweets because I know I tweeted the list of things that I wanted to cover there. I know the last one's the one that y'all can't see yet. Y'all can see all this other stuff because it's on dev, but the one you can't is the Clang type parser. So let's see. All right. Type libraries, native debugger, Clang type parser. Oh, log system. Okay, we talked about perf. We haven't talked about Python 3.10, but there's not a whole lot to talk about. It works. And if you're using Mac and Homebrew, it will even detect Mac ports. It will detect your Pythons built in. You don't have to specify it anymore, which is a small related change I just made. So yeah, Python 3.10 is nice. It's related to a Qt and PySide upgrade as well. New log system. So yeah, let's take a look at this real quick, if I can find it. The new log system is basically a much fancier log routing system where you have different like log kind of like captures, and it's backwards compatible. You can just use the old log APIs. Like if you, if you just call log info, you're gonna get, you're gonna still get the same behavior you got before. If you type it correctly, you're gonna get the same behavior as before. If you type out, you will not. Except now you notice there's also this new default thing. So there are newer versions of log stuff that can I just do this? Okay, that's log.log. It's probably the new, yeah, that's the new function. Okay, so there we go. I can look at where you get the log level, you've got the actual text, and then the logger, an optional string, which is like what type of thing it's for. You can also specify, for example, this is a log message that should go everywhere in Binja, and therefore when I open a blank new tab, like these are things that you get to see everywhere. All right, and by default stuff will go there because that's the way it used to. But now, if you want your plugin to only report results for one binary, you can do that more easily. All right, that's also controllable there. Anyway, so it's a whole new system. It's nice. You have filtering of the logs as well, and what else? Oh yeah, you can change the log scope. You can specifically like change the settings for some of these capture levels and the defaults, and yeah, it's just a much fancier log system. So that's quite nice. And then the last one, yeah, I'll check the question out. Sorry, I missed that, Dank. Oh, very nice. Module name and offset as a string specifically? Oh, okay, hold on. Let's I should look back at my Python console for my debugger and dbg.add breakpoints. Let's actually look at this. As an absolute address or as a module offset and module name and offset, which specifies a rel. Well, so okay, so that doesn't that is nice, but I don't think that totally answers the question. Like for example, on this particular binary, like I want to set a breakpoint at libc puts. I don't know where puts lives in libc. Like the loader is going to load me up and fix up that pointer. I don't actually know the offset of the base address like right here in just this binary view. But I guess like if you did, you could use that unless you could use a symbol name. If you could use module and symbol name, and if Binja actually opens the module, parses the symbol out, I don't know if it does that or not, but if it does, that's super nice. So that's a question to look into. Yeah, I know exactly. It's like it's getting all like fancy. The logs got all these filtering and all sorts of other kind of stuff going on, and we'll probably be using this to both be more verbose and less going forward because you can like filter and choose what you want to see. Yes. Oh, Galen, I already mentioned it. You're late to the party, and I already thanked you for it. So you missed that part of the stream. But yes, and I demonstrated it on this exact binary. That if I open Missy Elliott, this random CTF binary, boom, start to main. So, yep. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's see the last thing. Okay, last but not least on the list is, and this is where I'm actually gonna close down the latest dev. Oh, that's cool. No, I don't want to quit. I want to go to my debugger and let's let's just kill it. Let's just kill the process. That's nice. That's a good feature. Close without saving. Okay. Yeah, good. That's another good test of the debugger. So that's an issue we don't have to file. If you quit with the debugging session run, it will block you if it's still going. Heap virtualization. I have not seen any heap virtualization stuff. I have no idea what that's about. I'll have to go look at that. We can chat on Slack afterwards. I'm curious. All right, Binary Ninja. No. So first, Binary Ninja plugins. I was told that there's a type sidebar. Okay, what is this plugin? So I was told to load this plugin. That import selects. Do I have this? Just want to make sure. Yep. Okay. Does it make it a new type sidebar, or is it? Oh, okay. I'm excited. All right. So I've installed this plugin I was told that I should use, and I'm gonna go to this test build, and this is like real close to dev. Like this will definitely be on dev next week. We just kind of didn't want both big major things to hit dev at the same time. Oh, visualization. Okay, I got you. I'm all about some heap visualization techniques, so I'm curious. I haven't looked at any of the heap viz that they've done. Yep, CheckSec would also be. There's like an older version of a CheckSec style plugin somewhere in the plugin repo, I think, that did it purely statically. But yeah, actually, I would. You know what would be nice? CheckSec would be really great from a like a triage view. That's kind of where I would want. Oh, here, let me run Binja. Wait, where am I going here? 3. I was gonna run it from here, but let's not. Let's go back to here. All right. So I would actually like on triage view. I think that would be the place for. Oh, let me open one of those malware samples and show that it's a better view. It's one of those PE files. They have more information in triage. So I think I could check second here would be. This is where I would put that data. I think that would be useful. But yeah. Yeah, no worries. Catch up on it. I assume not like Cantor Dust. Cantor Dust is a little. There's been so many different check-site implementations over the years that, yeah, that's a good question. All right, so okay, this clearly is the type inspector, the temporary icon for, how is that even implemented? I need to go look. Dot binary, Ninja plugins, VI type plugin sidebar. Render an H as the icon example. It's not an H. That's clearly left over from something else. Yeah, draw text TI. Type inspector. Oh, it was pulled from another little prototype, I think, internally. Okay. So anyway, so we have a type inspector. All right. So this is the other big update I'm super excited about. I'm personally excited about this because, among other things, it's going to let us close like the biggest number of bugs per commit, I think, that we've ever had. So if you actually look at the oh, come on. Give me the, oh, really? What are you doing? All right, if you look at the issue database and you search for everything assigned to Glenn, I think basically all of these, pretty much all these are related to just this issue right here. And the vast majority are, yeah, here's all of the related issues that are gonna get to die here. So we were previously using SCC, our built-in shellcode compiler, which is really nifty and super useful to have, but we were using it to do all of our type parsing, and there's just things that it didn't support. And so it's really nice that we've kind of like had it on our like back burner of like, yeah, at some point we need to really switch to Clang. And Glenn took a look at that and was like, wait a minute, how many bugs do I get to put in my notches on my belt for that one? Like, I got this. And so he's been working on that the last month or two. And maybe not 2. No, it's been less than that. I think it's only been no, maybe 2 at this point. But he's been working on other things too, so not even full time. But this is like a really good, like, again, bang for the buck of all of these features are essentially going to be solved with this one commit. And so here it is. Like, this is just the test branch. Y'all can't try this quite yet. But let us, what do we want to try? So let's just open that random binary again. Let's go to our type inspector plugin. We can choose the platform we want. We can choose which type parser we want. And we just type in type information here, I guess. It's going to show us how it parses it. Okay, so like if I do enum, my enum 1, 2, 3. Almost. Oh, that's Windows. It's not Windows. I'm on. I mean, I don't know if it matters, but let's Linux x64. Clang, core, Clang. Oh, hold on. This is very beta, right? This is not even on dev for a reason. Do enums that maybe just not work? Type, whoa. Type def int test. Okay, maybe just enums don't work. It could be there's hard-coded something about it that enums don't. Or what if I do like, y'all may recognize this, struct Bob int first, int second, Bob, right? Like this is syntax that the old one does not support. You just get a syntax error, but the new one does. And we can actually see we get ourselves a parse struct out of here. Okay, so this is, this is nice for like debugging and be able to see it. But the point is, you'll be able to, and actually, is there, I don't think there's a separate UI for it. Oh, no, wait, import header file? Or is this the one that I was working on? Hold on. I mean, I may have just had something I was messing around with here. I want to make sure I'm not. Oh, let's look in here. What's it called again? Import. Now, if it's in plugins, it's probably not built into it. It's lowercase. But no. Maybe that is. Maybe it's just been put there. I don't actually see that I have a plugin installed right now that does that. So I think that is part of it too. You can literally just, we should actually talk. I don't know if that's the right place for it or not, but yeah, import header file. And then just give it a .h, and presumably that's going to be using the new Clang type parser. All right, let me catch up on chat. Yes, exactly. Celebration. Joe, the Clang implementation will be on dev next week. Like it's very close, and it is a superset. It supports way more things. So you know, like all those weird things where, like for example, the register. Well, actually, here, let's just go back to that issue. That actually shows a lot of them. There were a bunch of things. Yeah, so there were a bunch of places where, yeah, right here, where we had either custom syntax or there was things that we rendered in the UI that then our type parser couldn't kind of parse back out and handle. And so, oh, empty structs. Let's try it. Boop. Parse is fine. Switch back over to, well, actually, here, let's get rid of this. Still parse is fine. Switch back over to core. Actually, that one looks like the core parsed empty structs already. That one looks like it's been that way. Oh, okay, all right, Subtarshi. Let's see. What if I do, like, leave it a struct, Bob? Put a union in the struct. Do me a favor and either like link to like a full like exactly thing the way that you want it to type it out, because I'm not sure I follow exactly what you're asking, Subtarshi, and I'll just paste it in here. We'll see how it goes. If you're in the Binary Ninja Slack, you can, or on a Discord that I'm on, feel free to DM me there. Let me check and make sure I've got both of those up, as well, if you want to send it that way. Let me see here. All right, I'm just making sure I'm behind on several messages, so. All right. Is there anything else? All right. Oh, was Europe on the, I don't remember if Europe was on or not. I thought I saw him earlier, but to answer your question from Slack, well, I guess I already got an answer, but yeah, the Python 3.10 support is not that we're shipping with Python 3.10. It's that we now support Python 3.10. PySide works with it. We still are shipping the same version that our built-in interpreters were, but if you had your own installed Python 3.10, we could not do it. So. That's that. All right, let me make sure I'm missing up. Sorry, this is probably too many slacks. Oh, it looks like somebody else is reporting some debugger bugs. All right. All right. All right, now I'm available. Okay. So yeah, Septarshi, you might just, I don't know if you can just put in like a gist or gist it'll let you paste in a link in the chat, but if you just do that, then I can just copy and paste from there. That would probably be easiest. And hey, dang, no apologies necessary. I'm fried. It's been a very long week, so. Try creating a new type instead of the type inspector and make it come up empty. Oh, so here's the thing, Dank. Like I'm also using test release here, so let me double check. I can run latest dev and verify that that's, or a stable if you want, and verify that that's that may have been one of those things that was fixed even earlier. So like, right, if I go here, open a file, create that one's that little 1 second extra pause right there. That's the one that I mentioned earlier from the type libraries. So insert a new structure, and it's 0 bytes. Actually, just nothing. Yeah, I mean, I can leave that blank. I can do it that way. Create new type, and I could type struct test. Great. Okay, that one produces an error. Is it because it's not packed? Does okay. So yeah, that may be something else, but it is definitely fixed by the new one. So the new changes will fix that one as well. You could do it before, but you had to use the create struct and not the create type, and then give it an empty struct like that. Oh, in fact, I think even, yeah, I don't know if the new one supports offsets. Yeah, so not yet. Okay, so offset is planned, but not in there yet. Confidence. Yeah, some of these other ones are again post MVP, but these are all basically better than the current one, as well as all the benefits that Clang just comes with out of the box. But you can do calling conventions, pack structure attribute. Actually, that's probably exactly the problem is here, right? Is that I can't specify packed on this old type parser, but you can in the new one. I don't know why though. Yeah, hold on. Maybe let me go back to, let's do this. Let's switch over to the test one. If I do it here though, and just do create new type struct. Oh yeah. That's the other big difference too, right? So you can tell I'm using the Clang one here. In fact, let's see if Clang types. Yep. So there's new setting as well too. Yeah, I gotta find all this good stuff. Wait, where's it? Analysis types. Okay, let's just look for it. Analysis types here. So you have the type parser and the type printer. Interesting. Oh, okay. So you can't yet swap out the type printer for Clang. So it's still using the core one to render them out, but it's still going to produce better round tripping because the core type parser doesn't ingest some of the things that it can produce. But ironically, Clang can. So that's the defaults currently, but I presume the plan is to replace those. Take care. Yeah, we'll see you next time. I think you got blocked on the link. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see it there. If you can at me on Twitter at Cyphertext, which is I'm on chat here. So you can use that username on Twitter to send it to me. Or because I suspect the YouTube chat is probably like the worst place for it. Or Slack or on Discord. Any of those places I should be able to pick up the struct and we can try it. But I think we found the issue, right? I think we found I did reproduce it how that failed to work on the old one. But again, it does work here. Sorry, no, you were talking about something different. It was Dank, I think, that was talking about the 0 byte one. Septarshi, you were talking about something specific you wanted me to try. So I'll make sure I hang around to do that. Cool. All right. So yeah, let me go back to Plague because this has, so I can specify the type parser there. And when you do that, yeah, even just creating a new type here, you get to specify like the parameters for like includes. It's got a bunch of default ones here too. So it's going to use like the local path includes. Yeah, the ability to like specify built-in a bunch of includes or just different locations and know that you can get all that is, wait, if I open, I assume it doesn't do this, but I open like a PE file, does it do that? Let's see. So if I open a Windows PE file and I insert new type, Yeah, okay, it's just using my system includes. That kind of makes sense. I would have been surprised if that changed. But the nice thing is you can specify that. You can put different ones there. Oh, sweet. Ping on Slack. Yeah, no worries. I should be okay, cool. All right, let's see if I can get that. So let's try it right here. Struct. Actually, no, let's do it in the sidebar because I really like how the sidebar is like live feedback. That's cool. Struct int a. We've got a union int a char bb, and that's lol p lol, I think, right? And then int b, and that struct is going to be lol1. All right, so I'm on core, so let's switch over to Clang. Yeah, so we first have to define the anonymous. Actually, I think if we just do lol here, and then do we have to do it? Oh no, that's not lol. That's let's lol1. Or do we just do struct lol1? So this is where again we're going to show off how bad of a programmer Jordan is. I don't know if it will be enabled by default, Dank. I don't know if that's the plan, but certainly it's something we would be happy to publish. We can definitely share it and make it available. Yeah, there's definitely nothing sensitive in it. At least I assume not. I'll double check it, but yeah, like I'm sure that would be out there. Like I said, I don't think we would have it on or even shipped by default. Maybe it's something, for example, that we put in the example folder, and so if you want to copy to your plugins, you can. But so I'm not sure exactly what syntax where's P yeah, I mean if Clang supports it, we should. So I'm probably just doing something wrong here from that. But again, you'll be able to try it out pretty soon because this will be on dev next week, and pretty excited for it. So that should really improve a lot of the ability just to even like import like other header files, being able to deal with like, if defs and all sorts of stuff like that right now we can't handle. Like there's a lot of preprocessor stuff that isn't doable with the current type processor. But preprocessor only, interesting. Huh. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. What does single line do? Is I going to turn the whole thing into a single line, or is it saying I can enter in a single line? All right. Yeah, all right. I had a very long week, so I'm probably going to be wrapping up the stream here relatively soon. But yeah, that was a lot of stuff. It was good to see y'all back. Thank you for joining me. Any last questions before we shut down for the day? So yeah, that's a lot of good stuff. I definitely need more. I'm gonna spend some more time looking at those type libraries now. Debugger obviously is gonna get a bunch more testing and a bunch more stuff kind of coming on it, but I'm glad y'all get to be able to use it. Thanks, Brinley. Yeah, good to see you this morning, early morning for you too. So appreciate it, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, again, like, man, the rest of the team's been working really hard. So, it is now on dev. Yeah. So, Bill, one thing you're gonna have to do if you go into if you're on, sorry, not in this branch, but if you're on Binja and you go to your settings, absolute latest dev, which is like anything in the 3377 is the very latest dev. You can come in here and core plugins, I think was the setting, right? Core plugins, yeah. So the debugger plugin is disabled by default. So you just turn that on. And there's also another one where you can basically have a setting that prevents the Python debugger from running at the same time, even if you have it installed. So you don't have to like uninstall and reinstall or enable it. You can just do it via setting because you definitely don't want both running at the same time. You will have serious problems. Maybe later it would be, we could do a drop dead or something. You could just switch between the two and restart. It would be a little bit easier, but for now it's just two different checkboxes. You could do that. So yep, put it through its paces. Be gentle, like I said, on the UI side, and I'm sure we'll be finding bugs, but we're, you know, Shoeshug's been working really hard for a long time. He's been working for quite a long time on it, so I'm glad we can get it in y'all's hands. It's been through rewrites and all that stuff. So as you've got ideas, but I'm pretty happy with like I said, like I like the Python API that's gonna let us do lots of little interactive stuff pretty easily. And hopefully we get a good start. So really, that's not the CDN. That's not the CDN. What that is, we talked about that earlier. That's the new update system. Anything like basically post stable, if you were on a dev even from like 2 months ago, like right after the last stable, we had a real big improvement in the updates. So now any dev switches, yep, they're real fast. They're real fast. And that should be the case going forward. So like if you stay on the last stable, as soon as you go to the next stable, it'll be slow. It's like whatever you're coming from. But as soon as you're on like the new dev, or once we push the new stable out, anything forward, if you're updating to or from, like, so the version that you're currently on determines your update speed, basically. So if you're on any recent dev, updating to any other recent dev, or whenever the next stable comes out, that'll all be fast. And from now on, it'll be fast. Yeah. So it should be significantly quicker. You missed Marcus giving us a hard time for how long it took to do that. But hey, listen, you got high level IL out earlier from Musty. So which would you rather have had? Basically, yeah, it's able to bundle up files. So instead of just getting like a bunch of single HTTP requests, you can request multiple files at once. That's my understanding of it. And so that results in pretty significant performance improvements, the way that works. So we're also working kind of internally, just as a heads up too, on like our build infrastructure. So we've been adding new, we love you too, Marcus. I'm glad you're here. I would be bored if I wasn't having my chops busted. Mac OS has been slowing down lately. We've been working on our CI infrastructure too. So we've got some new Mac Studios in for our Mac builds. Our Linux builds, which literally used to be the fastest build, are now the slowest because we only have a single host. And so we're going to add a new Linux build machine, which should actually get like the whole pipeline from commit out to you guys faster again. It's been slower in the years as we add new releases and builds and more CI tests and all the different stuff we've added. So it went from like we could get something out in like 45 minutes to now it's like 2 hours from when we commit to when it's on the update infrastructure. And we're gonna I think get that time back down significantly with this. So that'll be cool. But no, HLAL for life. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Suda-C. I'm really glad it's there, but I still like it. So cool. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Good to see you all again. Hopefully I'll be back a little bit more on schedule. I don't know if I'm going to be doing exactly next week or 2 weeks from now. Technically, I think if I was keeping it every other week the way it was before, it would be next week, but we'll just try to get back in the routine and be more consistent. So good to see y'all. Have a good weekend and take care. Wait, wrong button. There we go.